my name is Paige. Welcome to my channel. So I have really been wanting to play the reread, rewrite, burn book game. I think it was originally a tag, but I feel like more people play it as a game these days. So I figured it would be a really fun thing to just film quickly. And so I grabbed all of these books and I have written their name down on a piece of paper and put them all in a jar. Essentially, you have to draw 3 of the books and decide which of those books you will reread, which you will rewrite, and which one you are going to burn. So I picked a lot of my favorites and then a lot of just booktube favorites in general, just because I thought it would be pretty fun to do it that way. So I'm going to take these off, and this will end up being my burn shelf so that we can see all the books that I have to sadly burn, but not really, because I would never. Okay, my shelves are clear. Let's draw 3 different books. So okay, we have 2 coming out right now. So it looks like we have 6 of Crows, Skyward, doesn't matter, you don't need to see it, I can read. And I kind of looked down at that. Let me try that again, make it more fair. And what's this one? The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Okay, right off the bat, starting off with some of my favorites. So let's start. I feel like burning is going to be the hardest one to decide, but I think for sure I would reread 6 of Crows. I feel like I don't have it in me to rewrite this. I love everything that it did, and I'm not clever enough to make all of the twists and turns happen or make them any better. If this would have been Crooked Kingdom, I might have rewrote it, but because it's the first one and I absolutely love 6 of Crows so much, I think this has to be my reread. So now I have to decide which of these I'm going to rewrite or burn. So there's things in both that I feel like I would want to rewrite, especially with Skyward. I feel like there's parts that could have been done. I say that when I'm thinking more of the sequel, so I guess I don't really want to rewrite anything of Skyward because I just had so much fun with this one. But this one is just so good, and I don't think I can burn it over this one, so I think I have to burn Skyward, and I'll rewrite parts of 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Do I know what I'd rewrite? No. Maybe some conflict between the 2 love interests in this one. Yeah, I'll rewrite some conflicts. So first book up that's going to be burned, Skyward. Next 3. We have Cemetery Boys, Wolfsong, oh gosh, this is getting bad, or Beach Read. Okay, so we have Wolfsong by TJ Klune, which is the first TJ Klune book that I ever read, and I fell in love with him from the get-go. It is one of my favorite books ever. Then we have Beach Read, which I just recently read, and I really loved it, but it is kind of sad, pretty slow. The romance is a little bit overshadowed by the grief and the other aspects of the book that the main character, January, is going through. But then there's Cemetery Boys. And I absolutely love this book too. I cried all the way through it. It was just so precious. I love these boys so much. I feel like the obvious burn choice is Beach Read, because these 2 are just some of my biggest favorites ever. So I'm sorry, Beach Read, but that was an easy choice for me. But now it's rereading or rewriting. Okay, I'm gonna reread Cemetery Boys because I just love it so much. It's so sweet, and I really think that this is one that I need to reread soon. But I'm going to rewrite Wolfsong. As much as I loved it, there are some parts where TJ Klune is very repetitive in some phrases and sayings, and I feel like it could do with a few of them being cut out, because it gets a little irritating to hear the same words and phrases repeated about 400 times after a while. So I might just cut out some lines here and there. Other than that, I would leave as much of it intact as possible. Maybe 1 or 2 people might survive also if I rewrote it. Next 3 we have, oh, they're stuck together. Okay, we have A Curse So Dark and Lonely, Daisy Jones and the Six, and One Last Stop. I'm looking at some of the books I have left, and I feel like those are going to be some hard choices to make. But we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Jenkins Reid, A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, and we have One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I loved all of these, but I can't say any of them are my absolute new favorites. I really do like them. I think about each of them individually, but okay. I think I am going to reread Daisy Jones and the Six. I feel like it is one that I will probably want to go back to at some point. I just love how imperfect everything seems to be in this book and just how flawed everyone is. I just like that grittiness of this story, and it's something that I would really like to read at least one more time. I really do enjoy Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing, so we're gonna reread this one. So now I'm left with these two, which is really hard because I absolutely love A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I think I gave this book 5 stars because it was just so funny. It was one of those books that you found at the right time, and it just felt so easy to read and it made me super happy. But this one I also really loved. I read it in one sitting. It was so much fun, super cute. I love August, I love Jane. So between these two, I think I'm gonna rewrite this. I don't know what I'll rewrite. I don't know what I'll rewrite. Maybe, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I would rewrite in this, but I'm gonna somehow find something in this to rewrite, and I think I'm gonna have to burn this one, even though I love it. That makes me so sad. Okay, next 3. An Ember in the Ashes, Station 11, and The House in the Cerulean Sea. Okay, this is genuinely going to be the easiest round for me because I'm not touching this one. This is going to be a reread all the way. I could never burn it, and I could never rewrite it because I think it's perfectly perfect in every way. So this one is saved for sure, obviously. Now, a lot of people love Ember in the Ashes, and I like it. I like it, but I hated Leigh. I thought she was the worst main character of probably any fantasy series I have yet to read in this year. I can't say of every single thing I've ever read, but she was so stubborn. I felt like everyone would tell her, you need to go right. That is the safest way. Everyone will live if you go right. And she's like, nah, we're going left every single time. And so I was done with her by the end of the series. And so I think I have to burn this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone who loves this, but I could not stand Leigh. I liked everybody else except for Leigh. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. But I would definitely rewrite Station 11. I love this book so much. It is definitely one of my all-time favorites, but not a fan of like the culty element of it. And I would probably just cut that bit out because it wasn't my favorite. It was my least favorite part of reading it. I would just kind of gloss over it and read everything else. So yes, this is a rewrite and we're burning this one. I'm sorry. But Leigh sucks. And that leaves us with our final 3 books. Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World, and Shadow and Bone. Okay, this is kind of another easy round for me, but I'm definitely rereading Ivy Aberdeen. This is just a cute story and it's super important. I feel like a lot of people need to read this book. It's about Ivy, who has just been growing up feeling a little bit like the middle child who is being completely overlooked, and it's also about her trying to figure out her sexuality, and I just think it's such an important read. I love this one so much, so we are rereading this one without a doubt, without a doubt. So between these two, I feel like if you knew me, the answer might be that I would rewrite Get a Life and burn Shadow and Bone, but I am going to do the opposite. I need to rewrite Shadow and Bone because it was not my favorite to read, but it is such an important foundation to the entire Grishaverse. So it definitely needs to be rewritten because it's kind of rough and it would benefit from a third-person point of view. So we are rewriting Shadow and Bone, which means, I'm sorry, Chloe, but we are burning this one. It is cute. I love it. It is such a good romance, but I can't live without the Grishaverse, and this is just the backbone of that verse. So Chloe Brown is going to be burned. I'm sorry. So these are all the books that I have chose to spare, and I will be just rereading. These would be all of my rewrites if I were actually an author and had any skills at rewriting books that are this wonderful. And these poor friends are the ones that I have to burn, which I could never. I will never. I definitely wish that I put more books in the cup, but this is all that I did. So it was really fun. I'm kind of surprised at how easy it was for me to pick some of these. I was expecting to get like Cemetery Boys, House in the Cerulean Sea, and Wolfsong in like one pull, and that would have just broken me. I could not have picked between any of those. So I had a lot of fun. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.